Hey folks, I am back. It is Sunday, and yeah, your Ruthless Wonder is very tired. I have been running all over the city of Kansas City, and for one reason or another. And yeah, I'm a little worn out. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a little difficult, a little difficult. Um, but we are, of course, back on the WRATH of Ruthless. I am the Ruthless Wonder, not a Ruthless Wonder. We are, of course, without Brittany today. It's a Sunday. I don't make people redo shows when I screw up. And, she will be, back, I don't remember which next show she's on. Anyway, um, we're back. We're streaming live. I've brought some friends along. We scrambled, and these two wonderful people who I constantly ask for favors from are amazing, and of course came back to help out again today. So I'm going to get to their introductions in just a moment. I do, of course, want to start off with the thing that we always talk about. And that's, of course, my brother's GoFundMe. We are still going on. It's his second heart transplant because of some issues with the drugs they had him taking after the first that caused the heart to go into rejection. He is now awaiting the second heart, still having to deal with being in the hospital at this point, and just whatever you can do to help will help. If that's sharing the post, that's GoFundMe.com/Thor's Warriors. If that's contributing on your own as well, any little bit helps. You can see that again at GoFundMe.com/Thor's Warriors. Now, earlier today, if you guys saw the Facebook post I put up, I was traveling to go see him over at the hospital, and I stopped by a great place. I do want to particularly thank this man. All right, so we kind of knew each other in high school because we went to the same high school. Of course, I got reintroduced a few years back, and he is the owner-operator of a very cool spot here in Kansas City, and that's Chris Good over at Ruby Jean's Juicery. That's cold-pressed juice every day. Wonderful stuff. They're over there at 40th and Broadway in Kansas City. Please check them out. They're open 10 to 4. Great stuff. You can find them on Facebook. They have great juice. I took my brother the Fresh Squeezed. That's an orange juice, a grapefruit juice, and I forget what the third juice is. He, of course, also does some great smoothies, a couple small bites. You can see the rather robust menu there that they have available. And you can see, of course, the light food, all very healthy, all very delicious. I had I had the cherry bomb smoothie myself today, and then, like I said, we brought Chris some fresh squeezed juice as well on top of that. So go on by, check out the place, patronize him because he is out here taking care of us. That's Ruby Jean's Juicery at 4000 Broadway in Kansas City, Missouri. If you can't make it to Kansas City, have someone get your juice order put in and then have them ship it to you. As a, little padding, you'll be good to go. The juice is that good. It's worth it. So check that out. And again, GoFundMe.com/Thor's Warriors to check out the information for my brother. So we are in kind of an interesting situation today. This is not my usual cast and crew. Devin, who I'll see here in a little bit, I'm sure she's somewhere watching, yelling into the computer. And of course, Brittany, our usual co-host, is not here as well. Again, I don't make people double up, but if I got to double up, then I do that. So I brought along two very interesting folks. One of them, from our conversations that he gets to pop up for from time to time on both this show and its older versions, and of course the Words Don't Do It Justice podcast back during its time. Hint, hint, it's coming back. And the other one is our very first in the Imperial Dreams series of interviews. And so I got to thank them both. They are awesome folks. But first up, from Geek Street Radio, the man, the myth, the block legend, It's GSR's The Bobo.
What is good? It's me, your friendly neighborhood nerd, the Babo, and thank you for letting me be back on the Wrath of Ruthless. It's always a treat when I'm talking it up with you, man.
Hey man, it's good to have you on. It's been a while. We haven't had you on for a little minute here, so it's good to have you on for a bit and you know get you back in the groove of things over here once again.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
so I didn't just get Bob because we're friends. We talk fairly often. Great guy, and there was a need for an additional bit of energy. And Bob, I don't know how you feel about this, but considering the story you told us off air just a little bit ago, but I brought along a fan favorite, a longtime friend of Words Don't Do It Justice, and of course the Wrath of Ruthless. Uh, Her interview still gets hits to this day. I wonder why. Uh, and that is, of course, everybody's favorite. Yes, all of your favorites. You will go favorite her everything. I told you to do it. And that is, of course, Breathe the V. How you doing? And her mic's not working.
Woo!
I hate when that happens, but it happens to us all.
It does. She's here though.
She's
Like
here
she's
though.
like right here.
I'm looking at her screen. She's here. She's here. I don't know what's going
Boom.
on, but I promise y'all, she's here.
Like we're not playing. Like we're not just like joshing you.
I'm not joking.
People still say joshing. Like do people even still say joshing you? Like who's the Josh that was the reason why we say that?
I don't know. Um, but when she figures out what's going on to get back in off of that, we will get right to her. And we lost her. I bet she could hear us and lost the audio, and so she's gonna have to go out and get
Yeah.
back in. Because that's
Yeah,
happened
she's
many
coming
times
back.
before. Uh,
Yeah.
that unfortunately happens fairly often. So I'm betting that's what the situation is, and we'll get her back here just a little bit. For
Yeah,
now
yeah,
though, I'm
yeah.
gonna like get into so. First up, folks are of course wondering what's going on with you guys. Oh wait, uh, yes, no,
There?
Yes. Hello.
there she is. All right.
Yay!
So,
Ah,
Bree, how you doing? Glad to have you
I'm
back.
doing good. Apparently now you guys are able to hear me, but I'm doing real good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Good to have you back. It has been quite a long time since that interview of ours.
Yes, it has.
So, uh, what's been going on with you? To just give folks a little update and all that good stuff.
Well, with me, I've just been doing more conventions, still doing the whole cosplay thing. I've taken a small break from YouTube just because I don't really have the space to record, but I'm going to try and do more videos very soon. But that's not dead. It's just on hiatus for a little. But I'm still cosplaying. There's still plenty of photos. There's still plenty of silliness to be had at conventions. And yeah, I'm still trucking and rolling.
Can we talk about your big thing coming up soon?
Which big thing?
The thing that we talked about the other day.
Starts with a P.
Yeah. Can we talk about that yet?
Oh, uh, yeah, sure. Why not?
Tell the people. They want the announcement.
Okay, so I'm sure as you guys probably don't know because I haven't mentioned it just yet, but why not? I am soon starting a Patreon. And yeah, that's gonna be a thing soon. I've been getting lots of questions and requests and everything for how my supporters can be able to actually like support and help me in my cosplays and going to different conventions and anything. So I just decided to start up a Patreon, and what better time to do it than now? While I'm up in the world and up in the cosplay community. So yes, that will be launching in October once I get a few photo shoots done for the Patreon, and yeah, you will hear more about that later.
Well, what really happened? We just told her to shut up and take our money, but she was like, "Well, I needed to do it legally, so why don't I just start a Patreon?"
No, Bob, don't get in trouble for doing that now. So, sorry, folks. More inside jokes from earlier conversations.
We're not gonna go on that.
So, one of the things about having these guests on is, of course, we want to make sure they get time to kind of talk about their stuff, really get them, really remind you guys to go out and support. Of course, Patreon is going to be getting a couple of people in August, maybe October, besides Bree, and we'll try and get them on as well, since I want to make sure that my friends get pub on my show. Because
well, since we're talking about it, you guys don't have to wait till August or October. If you guys go to patreon.com/Geek Street, you guys will be happily to become patrons of Geek Street Radio and help us out achieve our goals and reach our dreams. Yeah, so it's simple. Our stuff is like simple. If you give $1, join the neighborhood. If you give $3, you'll get a button just like I have on my hat, just like you're in the neighborhood nerd. Give about $5, you'll be getting all. Well, no, so it's not 5, it's 20. 20's next. 20. If you give 20, you'll get a shirt from our TeePublic store, and if you get 40, you'll get your whole promo to yourself. We'll do a promo for you, master it, produce it, all that good stuff. We are trying to push forward a lot more with Geek Street, and we have a lot more shows coming down the docket for you guys. So if you are patient and willing with us, we are here to give you all your nerdy podcasting needs.
Yeah, folks. So, get in there. I know you guys can see it in the window, so, and obviously they can't see what I'm showing you. Get in there and support. Make sure they feel your help and getting their stuff taken care of. I'm telling you, this is good content. This is good for my Midnight Chat Attack folks. This is high quality Geek Street content. But seriously, get in there. You can see the rewards start real early, guys. This is the place to be. So I want to see you guys in there. I want to see you guys supporting. In October, when Breathe the V's drops, I want you in there supporting. That is a demand from King Ruthless himself. Yes, Bob. That's the other thing, of course, that you guys didn't know about that we switched to. After that politics episode, that I had to come out as being a neo-monarchist, as it were.
God.
Well, if you talk to me long enough about politics, you find out that I really don't, believe in democracy either.
Yeah.
But people apparently were shocked by it. So I'm just steering into it. I am King Ruthless. Let's go. Let's
do this.
But
he shall soon take up the world.
Exactly. So secretly, there is another Patreon thing going up that you guys will want to check out here soon. I will tell you about it when I have more info, because I don't want to get that info out there yet until it's ready. Mm-hmm. Now, into the fun stuff. All right. So, I'm laughing for good reason. I'm going to share this article with y'all because it's hilarious.
Okay.
I would feel bad if I wasn't such a dick. Pamela Anderson. I really would. Pamela Anderson. And folks watching the live stream on YouTube can already see this piece. Pamela Anderson is not washed up yet. Let's not call her washed up in these streets.
Really?
She's not. She is not washed up in these streets. She is still out here getting it. So, she's not washed up. She's, enjoying her later years of less notoriety. Not necessarily graciously, but she's doing it. She's out here getting it. And she decided that she wanted to pen a very interesting op-ed piece. And that is, she wants to warn us that porn is a public hazard of unprecedented seriousness. You guys can see that in the screen share there.
What?
Yeah. So, Pamela Anderson teamed up with Rabbi, I can't even pronounce his name properly. I'm going to try it though. Shmuley Boteach, to put an op-ed for the Wall Street Journal and warn about the addictive dangers of pornography back on Wednesday, August 31st. They said it was a corrosive effect on men's soul, just man's soul, and on his
Oh,
ability to function as a husband and by extension a father. They call it a public hazard. They they say repeatedly that that well they mention that it could cause less intimacy between adults, and that they warn that children could be corrupted and be unable to handle any kind of stimulation, making them quote unquote crack babies of porn.
so that's what happened to me.
Oh my god.
That's what happened to
This,
me.
this
I
is
believe.
epic here. We must educate ourselves and our children to understand that porn is for losers, a boring, wasteful, and dead end outlet for people too lazy to reap the ample rewards of healthy sexuality. Now,
So is this before or after her porn career? Because I can't remember. Like, because I
again,
remember.
yeah,
Yeah.
again, this is Pamela Anderson from Baywatch, her sex tape with her husband. Oh yeah, and
It was Tommy Lee.
Playboy, where she posed nude.
Mm,
Listen,
yeah.
people,
Pornographic
there are a
images.
few things that anger me like a hypocrite, but in this one, I can't even get mad. I'm laughing too hard. But Babo, I would love to give you the first shot at this one. However, I would be murdered by the female fan base that's already mad that Brittany isn't here. I gotta go to Bree
All right.
first on this.
All
What are
right.
your thoughts?
All right. So
SV.
I'm gonna say
No. We're going to Bree
firstly,
first.
Miss.
It's Bree first, man. We gotta give her
Oh,
first
go to
shot at this
break.
one.
Okay, yeah. Let's go to break. Let's go to break. Let's go to break. Let's go to take me up.
Bree, what's up?
I just think that this whole thing this is silly. Like, okay, one half of me agrees, like only a little bit, because I've seen studies and I've read studies about how porn kind of gives men, specifically men, because they did this study on men, a sort of like unrealistic expectation on how actual sex is.
I'll agree with that.
So, men would watch porn, watch all this porn and everything. There's a certain type of formula that happens in pornographic movies. And so then this guy would go and have sex with the actual female, and then his partner's all upset and everything because she's not satisfied and this and that and everything. So while I agree with some part of it in that it kind of like warps the idea of sex to men, everything else is just maybe a bit much. I think it's just that she's going and saying all this as if it's like 100% like straight up facts and like there's research done in this and everything, but she just sounds just a tad bit touched, just a little bit.
Not touched. Not touched. Okay.
Like crazy. She just sounds.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I haven't heard all of touched in a while. Just a little bit tad touched.
And the funny thing is, all right, so this is Yahoo's article on it, but they couldn't help but mention that Anthony Weiner was caught yet again sexting, and his
Wiener.
wife finally left him. Basically because of
So wait. So the guy who was caught sexting the first time was his wife, like who had cancer, got caught sexting again, and his wife was like, "Nah, I can't take this no more."
Well, and that's a whole different situation, I guess is the best way to put it. This time, this time what happened was, well, the first time he sent the message just to the girl, and it seemed like they didn't really try to go beyond that. It was just one of those, like, everybody kind of knows, how.
It was already toxic behavior. It was already
Yeah.
Casual flirting.
Yeah, it was casual
Yeah.
flirting and casual sexting, and then when she got the dick pic, she just blew it up. This time, apparently, the wife believes that he was actually cheating as well. So that's a different situation. You know what I mean? That's a
So
different
it's a little bit
situation.
more to that.
Yeah, like
It's a little bit more.
exactly. So That's why things were a little bit different this time from last time. But this Pamela Anderson piece just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I don't have
All
any.
right. So
What's up?
I think it got a little. I think it got a little something. So, going to preference as Andre 3000 did in Frank Ocean's album. If I sound a little bit sexist, I'm sorry. I was just, but honestly, here's the thing. Like, there's been a surge of irrelevant people trying to become relevant again with random hootenanny and shenanigans.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Hootenanny and
So
shenanigans?
I'm gonna put these guys over because like that not to like shamelessly plug them, but Elon James White, I got shenanigans from him. I can't claim shenanigans.
Okay.
Him, yeah. So I can't claim shenanigans, but I love the word. So
I mean, that's up there with Devin's
legit.
30.
I know. I have to be the Devin right now. I have to like keep it up. Like, so we've seen Bow Wow come back for some odd reason after being at a Black Lives Matter protest saying that he can't relate to Black Lives Matter. I will digress. But now we see Pamela Anderson legit going against everything she's stapled her career on for decades. There's something weird about this. Like, something's going on. But here's what I'll say about the article itself. Bree is right. Yeah, there are bad biases and there are horrible effects of men being exposed to porn at a young age, and like it does warp a relationship, and they have weird expectations a girl can't fulfill, things like that. But I'll say, like, don't judge me when I say this next sentence. Due to personal experiences and personal jobs, you get desensitized after a while. So, yeah, you kind of get numb to it, and it's weird. And a lot of these kids have already grown that numb factor to a lot of stuff already. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it takes on today. But that could be kind of what they mean by that soul stealing thing, like because they've just gotten so numb to it. There's no soul into watching porn anymore.
Yeah, I mean, because you get so desensitized at some point that you just can't watch anymore.
Yeah. You need soul, and you need to be super bad.
But see, they do have sort of like story-driven porn now, and like porn more directed towards women. Like, there's actually like not a BS story like, oh, the pizza guy's here. I have no cash.
Have they for real gone back to the old school? We need a story for this. Are we gonna get a new Deep Throat?
Yeah,
now?
they have.
Yes.
They've gone to they've actually started hiring writing teams, things of that nature. It's not like just, hey, we're in a room and let's get it. Like, boom, like you in there. Even though that's what people still search for it, but alternatives are out there. Like you get to see intimacy, and you get to see actual like people enjoy each other's company with their clothes on.
Yes, it's been a more recent phenomenon in lesbian porn, but it's actually starting to spread to heterosexual porn as well.
Woo, heterosexual porn. Wait, what? That's heterosexual porn?
So yeah, folks. Pamela Anderson's full of shit, and this is hilarious.
He is.
Oh, but yeah, no, folks. It's just I saw this. I was like, we got to talk about this on the show because this is absolutely ridiculous. Again, I cannot stress this enough. This is as close to the perfect example of hypocrisy as I can get on a Sunday afternoon. Because
if you did look up hypocrisy in the dictionary after today, it'll be this article next to it as an example.
Like, apparently, Keith Richards is now going to come out against the taking of drugs. I hear Corey Taylor from Slipknot is apparently now anti metal music because it is it has a corrosive effect on the minds of young children and supports Satanism.
Are you kidding me?
I'm entirely joking. I was like, I was literally joking.
She ruined it because I was about to say I heard that Nickelback was anti-Nickelback now, but now I like the joke because she's already broken the theme.
But it's ridiculous. Like, come on, guys. There's just, oh god, I can't with these people. I can't with these celebrities who get to a certain age and then they're just like, I hate everything I used to do.
Don't do any of this stuff
But
now.
you didn't hate it when you were doing it because, like, let me, and folks, we're gonna, just quick digression where I get slightly angry. We're gonna dive deep into how stuff actually happens behind the scenes. Every every quote unquote leaked sex tape you ever saw, be that Kim Kardashian and Ray J, be that Pamela Anderson and Tommy, be that
Xbox
be,
in China.
yeah, X-Pac in China, be that the Paris Hilton ones, be
Oh my
whatever,
god! I totally
whichever
forgot
sex
about
tape
her.
you think you saw because it leaked is a lie. And here's why. No company who produces any film will put out anything without their lawyers making sure they can't be sued because of it. it in the cases of all of these sex tapes, they were alerted to the existence of the tape or were given the tape, and the celebrity then has to sign off on on it going out there. And they don't sign off for free, people. I mean, I hate to quote Kendrick, but this dick ain't free. You gotta you gotta approve all of it. You approve the marketing for it. You approve the cut between you and the production company as a celebrity. The production company approves how many copies are gonna be put onto the internet. Back when it was internet slash major DVD sales, they would approve everything. All of it is approved. Every sex tape that quote leaked is entirely the product of the actual celebrity putting that thing out there and making money off of it. The only tape that you can actually call that's big enough that you can actually call truly leaked is R. Kelly's, and that's because his was illegal. So that's the end of our discussion of Pamela Anderson. Enjoy me telling you the adult version of Santa Claus isn't real. Uh, I wanted to get to
That
our
was
next
exactly
story.
it.
So I wanted to get to our next story, which is very important. It's slightly serious, but still in something that I wanted to talk to this wonderful combo group I've got going on here. Got a wonderful roundtable moving about, and this is a very how to put it. I'm not happy about this. I knew it was coming, but I'm still not happy about it. And that is the arrest of Guccifer. Romanian hacker Guccifer is the one that you all know who was, well, basically he leaked everything. He exposed the existence of the private email domain for Hillary Clinton when she was still Secretary of State. And he released a number of documents from that, giving them to Julian Assange over at WikiLeaks. And in doing so, he was finally sentenced to 52 months in prison by a federal court in Alexandria, Virginia. His real name, Marcel Lazar, he was 44, pled guilty in May to the charges, including unauthorized access to a protected computer and aggravated identity theft after being extradited from Romania. Um, it's crazy that, like, you know, he for exposing someone, well, put it this way, for exposing something that the American people needed to see, that he received such harsh treatment. I understand it. I won't get into the legal ramifications of it because this is not a Matthew turns back into lawyer version show where you're still in ruthless mode. But he leaked a number of documents regarding
Yeah.
what had been done, and yeah, they believe that the new version is there's a Gucci for 2.0 that's been leaking documents as well. Um, they believe
Oh,
that
okay.
is actually a Russian intelligence services member who is doing um, these new hacks, and so that has come up as well. Lazar, in addition to this, as you can see there in the article, is believed to have hacked into another 100 email accounts between 2012 and 2014. some of which they believe are political figures, some of which are non-political figures, and that's essentially really why he went down. Um, so we'll see what else comes up. I know he's probably going to file an appeal of some kind for this, but for now, it seems that Gucci Fur has disappeared. Um, and I wanted to kind of briefly hit on this, and I wanted to kind of get you guys' thoughts. We'll start with you this time, Bobo. What do you guys think about not necessarily just the Gucci Fur hacks,
Yeah.
but also this notion of exposing corruption in any format, be that the Sony leaks, as well, that were all entertainment based, but exposing corruption through hacking. And do you feel like somebody should be put in jail for this?
All right, so here's how I'll say, because there's a lot of going on. I recently dove into a topic similar, but it's a reverse. I'll explain in a second through our tech show, Gadget Glomp. What's going on here is it's kind of like what the Catholic Church used to do, or the Protestant Church used to do back in the day. Like, it controlled the knowledge. Not to go all political or anything on here, or like try to say conspiracies, blah blah. But there are top secret classified documents for a reason. They don't want you to know. It's more so of you need to keep this just between our little circle. And if the American people come out with it, or the people in general learn about this, it will sway them, and they don't want any uproar. They don't want any hoopla. I say this to preference. There was a issue with a French government. The French government, I believe, was tapping into a journalist. This journalist normally kind of speaks his mind about a lot of the stuff that goes on or whatever, but he does it in the kind of a legal way through his newspaper publication, things of that nature. But they were trying to illegally hack him, and they sent him massive malware, bugs, phishing things, to where basically it was a malware scheme to where if you were to click on the link, they would have been able to remotely hack and take control of his phone, hack into the microphone anytime, basic Google and Facebook stuff. Like, legit. And like, the only reason why he caught it before, because he took to a private tech firm. And it comes down to this: who's watching the Watchmen? Like, these are the people who're supposed to protect, serve, take care of us, govern fairly, things of that nature. But we are coming to see that it's not coming like that. Like, it's not panning out the way that we thought that freedom would. So we kind of need some of these gatekeepers, these guys who do put their legit life on the lines. Honestly, at this point, I'm happy he only got 52 months, if I could say that, because they've punished people more for a lot less. They're taking cyber crimes a lot more seriously now, especially with the rise of technology as it is today, and the things that we can do with it. We're not Iron Man level yet, to where we can like kind of tap on the air and take over an entire TV screen and things like that. But we're getting to a point where
that's not hacking. That's magic. That's literally magic. Like, that's magic. Let's be real here. Oh man.
So we're getting to a point in technology where our government hasn't caught up to, or we're getting back to where the Wild West isn't a physical place anymore. It's a digital space. That's why things like net neutrality and things like cyber attacks and cyber hacking are such serious matters now, because they don't know how to combat these things. They don't know how to come at these actual problems that they didn't have to face back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. They're literally just coming up now. So they're trying to find new ways to govern this stuff. And just to put all a lighter spin on all of this, because this is some serious shit I just said, just remember, out of all of this, we're going to get a lot more free Gucci memes, okay? Just because Gucci Man's home, now we got to free the other Gucci.
Oh, Bree was... yeah, that's good. Bree, what are your thoughts?
Well, first off, I who wrote this article? Dustin. Why did he specifically say 52 months? 52 months is just like 4 years. Why couldn't he just say 4 years? It's not a
Yeah,
heavy
that's why I was
sentence.
like 52. I'm glad he only got 52 months. Like,
Yeah, it's
So
weird that happens sometimes, unfortunately.
So it's just 4 years. So it's not like he's going for a very long time. Besides that, I'm always one that is, well, I love cyberpunk culture. I love the idea of it and everything. I like the whole model of information wants to be free. So with this sort of thing happening, I think that, I'm 100% on board with this. Like, I mean, yes, he got nailed for it, which sucks, but it's only 4 years, like I said. And I feel like this sort of thing needs to continue to happen. People need to know what happens behind the scenes, the things that they don't want us to know, because there have been things before, like in the past, like with MK Ultra, the Tuskegee project, like things like that. These are things that the government did not want us to know, and these are things that have harmed people. So it's just like, what else could harm people? Like the whole thing with Hillary knowing about those American soldiers and everything, and how she just basically straight up lied. Like that's something that needs not to happen. So long as we have people trying to expose the truth and let everyone know exactly what's happening while they're at home sleeping or whatever, this sort of thing needs to continue to happen. That's
yeah,
just my personal thought on it.
it's
So, mhm.
yeah, it's more so like when it comes to the government and our interactions with their people, it's more so of keep them happy, keep them smiling, keep them sitting there looking pretty. Like we're the trophy wife to the government. Not to be sexist, but we're a trophy wife. We're not supposed to say anything. We're not supposed to know what's going on, how the bills get paid, how the things are going on in the background, or like we just sit there, look pretty, be America.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And so basically, I just agree 100% with what Bubble is saying. And yeah, just information wants to be free, so let it be free by any means necessary.
yeah, and this is, I mean, it's obviously coming at a slower pace, but you've got, of course, Julian Assange at WikiLeaks, Chelsea Manning, um,
Snowden,
I was
they
like
have they got
the big one, Edward Snowden,
yeah,
who
Snowden.
can't come back in the country. I, it's a struggle for me between the idea that yes, some things need to stay behind the curtain for actual need, like to pull off, you know, undercover work, to pull off, important, security stuff. There needs to be some control over information. At the same time, just to protect people, but at the same time, there are steps that are too far. Um, I almost wish that we, I almost wish that this had happened in 2014 uh, instead of now,
Why do you say
because,
that?
well, okay, if you hack her private email server and release this information in 2014,
Hillary.
yeah,
Okay, I
you,
thought you were talking about Gucci. Yeah, if it was 2014 with the Hillary situation, totally different story.
yeah, I don't think,
Totally different
one, I
story.
don't think he gets even 4 years. I think he gets probation, but has to stay in the U.S. kind of situation, But also, I think that we would have treated it differently because the unfortunate thing is when an election season begins, anything that attacks that system, the election system itself, and that's what this does, will be treated more harshly and will be pushed back against, even if it's to the benefit of the American people, by those same American people. There's a since Bob likes quoting, I'm going to quote a movie that I love from a much younger version of The With This Wonder. Um, Tom Lee Jones
Hmm.
said in Men in Black,
Oh,
a
okay.
person is smart, but people are
People are dumb.
are dumb, and people are dumb. In election season, it makes it difficult to really kind of parse the story out for what it really is. We found a government official was hosting documents that are far more sensitive than you or I would ever have to deal with on a private server in her home that was far easier to access than any government server. And some of those things got out. Some of those were, we're talking about plans for different actions by the government. Some of them were actual top secret operations in progress. And if I told that to you in 2014, when Hillary's not running, you would want her brought up on charges, you would want her in jail, and you would praise this guy because he showed us what the truth was. And unfortunately, we're in the middle of an election when this happens, and so instead, hey, he's going to jail. Uh, Shout out to the oddly appearing Revenge is Gaming. Good to see my buddy Chris Hines popping into the chat there.
What up, what up,
Um,
what up?
so I think it would have been different in that situation. But let us get off of this extremely depressing topic and to one that is related to a um, slightly depressing topic, but is in a very positive light. Everyone knows, of course,
Free
that
Gucci.
free Gucci. Uh, Everyone knows that earlier this week we lost the Candyman himself, Mr. Willy Wonka, Mr. Young Frankenstein. We lost Gene Wilder, and
Yes.
Mel Brooks did an interesting thing. He was asked about Gene Wilder, and he started telling this story about Blazing Saddles. And
Yeah.
he was like, when you talk about Blazing Saddles, and this is our light topic for today. When you talk about Blazing Saddles, you have to talk about Gene Wilder's performance, which I think was honestly amazing. Like if you go back and watch this movie, I don't care how old you are, I don't care what era you grew up in. Blazing Saddles is just straight up funny. There is nothing not funny about this. There there is just they're beginning to end. You are laughing at this movie, and when you think about everything that comes together to make this movie happen, um, you have to go back and look at the climate at the time. The fact that we had westerns were really big in the culture. Um, but Mel Brooks doesn't just parody westerns; he parodies the making of a western, the Hollywood conventions that go into a western. He uses his usual brand of comedy on top that you can clearly see in previous films, but he really becomes like an unstoppable force with Blazing Saddles. And one of the like I said, one of the things that has to happen is Gene Wilder. Go back and watch that movie. There is nobody else that you could have possibly gotten in this movie and make it work the way it does. Um, People kind of famously know, and I don't know if you guys know, um, originally the part of the Black Sheriff is actually written by Richard Pryor, who's one of the writers on the film, and he wanted
I
to
knew.
be in the film, and I forget why they didn't have him in the film at the time, but you can see, there we go, um, the studio didn't want him in, and it worked out. I still think like a Richard Pryor as that sheriff in that movie would have been even funnier because
Yeah,
as
they were
good as
all
Cleavon Little
dynamic
was,
duo. Like,
yeah, Richard
yeah.
Pryor would have been amazing. And you can see the chemistry between Wilder and Pryor in other films that also show how good they are together. And it would have just been that on top of an already amazing movie. Uh, Bree, have you seen Blazing Saddles like recently?
No, not well. Recently, I would say like 2 years ago, but I remember it vividly. It's one of my favorite movies, actually, and it is absolutely hilarious. It has to be like my favorite Gene Wilder movie ever. It's really a laugh riot completely.
See, all right. So this gets me right into one of my points about this particular subject. You say that this is your favorite Gene Wilder movie. Uh, what if besides Blazing Saddles? Because I think Blazing Saddles, like I said, is amazing and beyond most of the people involved other movies. It's better than almost all of them. What's your second favorite to Blazing Saddles?
Definitely Charlie and the Willy Wonka Factory.
Oh, Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory is amazing. Um, I'm not gonna be like most people and be like, "How dare Johnny Depp and Tim Burton make a new version?" It's just not the same movie. They're two different movies. You can still enjoy the Gene Wilder version because it's amazing. Baba, what about you? Favorite Gene Wilder pick, and Blazing Saddles is out.
All right. So, of course, because I already told you they were an amazing dynamic duo, Stir Crazy is one of my favorite Gene Wilder films. Like, all right, I legit have to like gush here. So, I do a lot. I legit do a lot, and I used to study comedy, like legit the greats of our era. And if there's anybody you have to study, it's Richard Pryor, George Carlin,
Mm-hmm.
Gene Wilder. Gene Wilder is just that casual, like natural. You can just feel the joy emanate from this man. Honestly, from whenever you see him in the scene, you can tell like, oh my god, this is gonna like he's gonna bring it no matter how he's feeling, what's going on in his life, whatever's happening. You can even see it in Charlie and the Chocolate or Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Like it was legit him almost at his best that I've seen. But Stir Crazy, honestly, was the greatest Gene Wilder movie for me because I love Blazing Saddles. Like I hate westerns. My father made me watch westerns all the time, and I might have made me watch White Earp and all the other stuff. But he put on Blazing Saddles one day, thinking it was a normal western. I
Oh yes.
died the entire time. Mel Brooks and that writing staff was so perfect. Like if again, like he said, go watch Blazing Saddles. It will still connect to today. It's funny how like things echo from the past to today.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the movies that does it best, Blazing Saddles. But if you ever want to like see one of the perfect buddy movies or whatever, watch Stir Crazy. Stir Crazy will have you on your seat dying, and like you some points were even supposed to be funny, but just the delivery of Gene and Richard, spot on, spot on.
Uh, so we've got to, even though that Bree takes an L for calling it Charlie and the Willy Wonka Factory, we've got I gotta
I knew
play.
what.
I have to play the infamous
Please
scene.
leave the cosplayer alone.
Wait, what? That is literally what my teacher told me the name of the movie was from years ago.
Oh my
So
god!
that is not my fault. That is what I was taught.
All right, so that's almost as like that's up there with one of my friends thinking that the Lion King song was Pink Pajamas, Pink was on the bottom. So I'm okay with that.
Wow.
Oh, it's one of my favorite scenes. Oh my god.
I love this scene.
Legit, just the imagery
Oh
that
yeah,
they used for this. Like it was so
it's
like there's
insane.
so much to Willy Wonka that people didn't catch.
I'm going. I love this.
Here comes the turn up. Here comes the turn up.
Here we go. Grizzly Reaper mowing. Keep on rowing. So
They legit didn't go anywhere. They went nowhere.
I gotta tell you guys why I absolutely love that scene. All right, I know you guys probably both know the story about this scene and most of the movie. Mel Brooks, the producers of the movie, repeatedly wouldn't tell the kids and the parents in the cast what was happening. They wanted to have that moment of wonder every time they got to a new major set piece. So obviously there's scenes like the inside the factory scene where they're making the gum. That was entirely like the first time they'd ever seen that set. The first time that they go into the chocolate river and the candy room, that was also the first time they'd seen that. This
they legit
scene, when they shot the boat ride, no one knew that Gene Wilder was going to say any of that. He just starts going. That's the first take. So they never.
And it was beautiful.
Oh my god, it's the most beautifully terrifying thing that I had ever seen as a kid. If you don't count the shitty movie The Dark Crystal, it was wonderful, and I absolutely love it. Apparently, there's an echo, which oddly enough we can't hear. I'm betting that's probably Bobo's boom mic setup because it's inferior to my boom mic setup.
Whatever.
Oh, so I know
I'm sitting here laughing.
Both seen this movie. What do you guys remember from? Like, do you guys remember this scene? Like, how did you feel the first time you saw it? Because that is my legitimately favorite scene he's ever been in. Right there, I love that scene. What's your guys' thoughts?
I was feeling the same exact thing as the rest of the cast, like just like freaking out. I'm like, what is happening? What are all these lights doing? He's not explaining anything. They're gonna die. They're gonna like go off some sort of like river cliff into some chocolatey death or something like that. I was just freaking out as a kid watching this, and the fact that they just ended up in like that whole like candy room where they just could like pick anything and eat anything. It was amazing. It was like it was fantastic when they get to that point. And then the song, I love the song too.
So could you imagine you're like, don't even imagine you're one of the kids, because the kids are clearly way freaked out by this. Imagine you're one of the adults. You've been told, all right, so we're gonna have a boat ride where you guys are gonna ride down a chocolate river. Following one of the kids getting sucked up into a chocolate pump, and you're not gonna know what happens to him. And then you're just gonna have a little boat ride. It's gonna be a little boat ride. Gene's gonna be on the boat with you. All of you all are gonna be on the boat. Just kind of enjoy the boat ride, and then we'll get you guys. And then that's what's gonna physically take you to the next location. And we're just gonna film that. Okay, ready to go. All right. And then you get on there, and the lights start flashing, and the weird images start popping up. And now Gene Wilder, who has rolled up to you with a fake injury. And has been weird the entire time, is now shouting beat poetry at you, facing the opposite direction on the boat while perfectly still holding his cane.
I would like to point out that Grandpa was hyped.
Oh yeah, Grandpa was hyped.
I like to point out that Grandpa was hyped. Like, he wasn't scared. He was like, "Yo, Charlie, it's going down. Let's do this!" Like,
because Grandpa had popped a Molly and was ready to go. He's like,
he was like, I've been waiting for the Grim Reaper. How long? How much longer? Like, but when I first saw that scene, legit, I was like, Grandpa, I was like, yo, what's going on? Whoa, like, Charlie, just chill, Charlie. Like,
it's so out of place. It's perfect. Like, to me, it's so out of place. It's perfect. And like, I'm gonna blame that scene for the entirety of trance and EDM now. That it's all because of that scene. It's entirely the reason we have EDM is that scene. That I'm calling it right there. That's what I'm calling. So
I'm upset with you,
dude. Come on, name me the movie before that had such cool visuals and complete nonsense lyrics on top of it.
Space Odyssey, the old 2000 Space Odyssey, Metropolis,
Not like that.
Akira.
Metropolis isn't in color, and 2001 Space Odyssey is
Well, you're
all
right.
space stuff.
You're right. But that still would have been more. I don't know. Whatever.
Oh, I'm telling you,
I've given you examples.
But I just, like I said, I love it. It's one of my favorite scenes in cinema history, and my favorite scene from Gene Wilder, because I can just imagine his head going just like, I'm about to freak them all right the fuck out right now. They have no idea.
Like he was just like, I'm gonna enjoy this. Like his face was like, I'm about to enjoy this. I'm gonna go.
As a parent, if I were in that as a parent, I probably would have to yoke Gene up and tell him, hey, look, all right.
She would have broke character like
He's gonna
immediately.
come flying from the back bench like, you mother. Tackle him in the Oh my god, that was great. Oh, I just, but yeah, Gene Wilder has some great moments that I just love.
Mhm.
Obviously, there is the It's Alive from Frankenstein. That is also one of my favorites from him, and of course, that just it just made it all better. Like, it just made life better. Let's... Alive! It's alive! It's alive! So,
Frankenstein was like, eh. First I was like, what? But no, like honestly, that Gene Wilder scene has influenced so many people. Like, if when you think of the words like "it's alive," or you think of something like that, people just automatically scream it, just like Gene did, not knowing that came from him.
Which is weird.
Like, he perfected that.
So yeah, we lost a great man, but we still have all the films he did, many of the things he said, and of course, all of the Gene Wilder memes, because they're everywhere. They're never going away now. But Harambe will. So I want to get to...
Harambe live.
Lord. At least you didn't yell dicks out for Harambe. At least you did that.
I didn't know if we could say dicks out for Harambe, but I was like, Harambe live. So yeah.
Oh no, I'm
dicks out for Harambe, guys.
Because of the demonetization of videos. So feel free to yell all kinds of profanity as much as you want to.
Oh, okay. I forgot that we are. Do you want to talk about that whole YouTube issue that we're having now with the demonetization of videos?
That's exactly why we're gonna finish up today's show with that discussion. You didn't think I brought you guys here for no reason, did you? Come on now. This is me talking about.
Oh, you're right.
I've actually straight up debunked that whole entire thing.
I can't wait to hear this. Go for it.
Okay, so basically, there are little bots on YouTube that will come and check your video and everything. The only time that your video will get in trouble and get demonetized for something like sensitive topics or cursing or anything like that is if it's in the title and if it's in the tags. It doesn't care about the description. It doesn't care about the actual video because it won't go through it. If you're talking about, like, if you just have straight up language, like if you drop an F-bomb or something like that, or you're talking about literal YouTube drama, like, oh, YouTube did this one thing, or like, two YouTubers fighting on YouTube or whatever, or something like that, then it will demonetize your video, because that's not what advertisers want to have advertising on their videos, of course. YouTube is just completely selling out even bigger to its advertisers to make sure it gets money and that sort of thing. So it wants to make sure the content that it's advertising on is clean. But it doesn't matter so long as you don't put anything alluding to what you're talking about in your title or in your tags. Otherwise, by all means, go ahead.
Well, here's the only thing that I'm confused by, because with the little bots or the nanites that you're talking about, like, I'm still trying to figure out why they demonetized a lot of Philip DeFranco, because a lot of his titles weren't threatening, as as they or have profanity or something alluding to threatening behavior and things like that. It's kind of getting to almost Facebook level at like censorship. Like you can't say anything about anything with a condition on Facebook. Like you can't even mention that someone's pregnant in an ad. I'm saying in an ad, like a paid ad, or be disapproved. Um, there's a lot of rules and stipulations when it comes to Facebook ads, and I'm afraid that YouTube is going to fall down that rabbit hole trying to like sing and dance for the corporates. Like YouTube didn't start off like that. YouTube was a place for creators, place for people who wanted to get their content and interact with their fans. They've legit grown a space for a new breed of like I hate to say it, a new breed of celebrities, and like they're kind of ripping that away from a lot of people now, like especially with the demonetization without your knowledge. Because you'll go back on stuff or whatever, and like Philip was saying, he found stuff from like a year and a half ago that's demonetized. Like you can't make money off of it because either the topic he was talking about or something that he said was in the actual video. Their bots or their nanites, as I like saying nanites, because like when I think of tiny bots, I think of the little nanites be walking around like Transformers. But yeah, if you're thinking about how they're just kind of taking that voice away from some people, and some people this is their livelihoods. Like I know we're still fresh on YouTube, Geek Street or whatever. You've been doing it longer than us, Bree, but like that's gonna. I'm legit seeing that's something that I have to kind of take out of our revenue stream. Like if we wanted to legitimately make money, we would have to kind of trim and kind of make sure it's more production quality for, say, a family type audience instead of just letting our host be our host.
Yeah. It's an interesting situation, at the time. I will say that one of the things that we've liked about using YouTube is that it kind of gets things up faster. It's been quicker for us to get this podcast going after we shut down the blog site itself and kind of growing at a really cool rate. Um, and so for the folks that are giants on YouTube, they aren't truly effective. For the folks that are kind of in the middle, that's what seems to be who's most having to deal with it. But like folks have said, it's not necessarily just that they're demonetizing. It's that we found out that now they're just notifying you that it's happening, as opposed to previously when it was just happening and you weren't being told. Which gets us out of the heavy topics. Bob, this is going to be a difficult subject for you. It's a difficult one for you to talk about. I know ahead of time because I know what the topic is. I wanna address a very cool article that has very this section of the show that we're ending on is not about this particular.
I actually read this today.
Yeah, it's not about this
so
article.
We can talk about it.
It's just
okay.
It's about what this article means. How do you feel? And if we're gonna get you guys out here on this one, how do you feel about being around your single friends when you're in a relationship, and how do you feel about being around your non-single friends when you're single? And Bobby, you're not first. We're starting with Bree.
Okay, please.
Well, definitely, like the whole phenomenon of like feeling a lot more lonely when you notice your friends having relationships and seeing them all happy and doing things, and you notice everyone else doing it too. It's kind of like you notice it more for some reason when you're single. Just like the reverse is the same when you're in a relationship, whether or not you're happy or not happy, and you see all your single friends going and doing whatever they want and doing this or doing that, and you just kind of look back on your relationship and it's like, well, I wish I could do all that, but I can't because I have this, my significant other. I just think that it's like, I don't know, they had a word for it. I can't remember what it is, but it's just like you know, when like you hear a name like maybe of a crush or something, and then you start seeing that name literally everywhere for whatever reason. I think it's just, you know, just something that happens.
Yeah, it's that I want that car syndrome. Like,
yeah, yeah. And
I just bought that car syndrome.
mm-hmm. And it's just like I don't know, like, to me, I don't mind so much when I am in a relationship or when I'm out of a relationship. I see it happens, and I'm just like, okay, that's fine. But whatever it is, it's just like that's just what it is to me, at least. I can't speak for anyone else, but I just let it roll and do it as it wants to.
Yeah, it's such a like I said, such a weird thing at this point. I want to get to Bobo here though, because you're the tanking man here. I'm still very happily single.
Yeah,
Single
okay.
Life
It's
Volume
okay.
1, hashtag no babies. Shout out to Ronan. That's one of our other inside jokes. But yeah, Bobo, how do you feel about that? Because I know, you have recently gone across the line into the taking man territory. How do you feel about it?
Well, all right. So when I'm with my single friends and I'm in a relationship, I know. Well, it's kind of like it's a trend. Like for both is really that men ain't shit. Like when I'm with my single friends, men ain't shit. When I'm with my people in a relationship, men still ain't shit because honestly, we ain't shit.
And hey, speaking of something, I'm a black unicorn. I'm an over 30s black man with no kids,
like,
no criminal
I'm
record,
putting it out there.
and I'm a unicorn. F you, man. That's all y'all. I'm important out here in the streets.
All right, here's why I say this. I've been doing a lot of thinking or whatever. Like honestly, and like I sit back and I listen to myself like in my head, and I'm like, yo, what the bruh? Like, chill. Like, because there's a lot of stuff that I learned as a single guy that like I'm sitting here like, yo, like that's effed up. Like, why am I thinking that? Like, and it's weird. And like being single is its own entity. Like, and it's yeah, like Bree said, you can see your single friends going out and doing stuff, whatever. But honestly, I still perform. I still, like I said, I have my friends or whatever that I talk to, like not like intimately or whatever. I'm talking about like I have friends, like actual friends that I can go and talk to a term, but I still have my girlfriend there. Like me and her, like I was legit. Like I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Again, back to the men ain't shit. I wasn't shit when I was single. Like I'm gonna put that out there on myself. Because I was still I was in an 8-year relationship before I'm in the relationship I'm in now, and I just did stupid things I wish I could take back, but you don't think about that when you're a single male. Not to like say anything about you, man. You don't do stupid shit. I'm talking about me. I do stupid shit. But like when I'm sitting here like with my single friends, I listen to them because honestly, they go through so much. Like I don't know where these guys come from that talk to my single like female friends. Like I don't know who raised these dudes. I don't know. I don't know who allows them to exist in society. There's some crazy ish that I hear from my single females. It's some crazy stuff I hear from my single male friends. Like, but the guys in my relationship or whatever, you know, we're guys in relationships. Like we have our random conversations about our girlfriends and we talk this and that or whatever. It's just like when it comes to being like that bridge, I almost say, like that person that someone can always talk to, you just realize that men ain't shit. Thank you. Good night.
He might drop on that. Y'all ain't shit out in these streets.
We ain't. I'm like legit. Like I try to cape for us. I do. I try my hardest, but damn, our socio insecurities and our tropes and the things that we've been taught and ground into our heads like from birth, like God, like they raised us to be ain't shit at times, and a lot of the times I just want to just sit back and just apologize for a lot of it. And I'm sorry. Like Lemonade was legit. Like I cried at Lemonade because I was like, God damn, I'm sorry.
I mean, I now have to ask the question: which lemonade are you talking about? Because I mean, this is Gucci's lemonade, and since you've been on this free Gucci thing, I gotta ask.
Yeah, I'm talking about Beyonce's lemonade. Funny story. I watched Beyonce's lemonade, and I went out, and there was a little girl who was selling lemonade on the side of the road, and I walked up to her. I was like, "I'm sorry for whatever he did to hurt you. Whatever you like, it's a good ass lemonade, and fuck him." She was like, "Okay, Mister."
So, yeah. I'm not apologizing for other dudes. Number one, if you're an asshole, it's your fault.
You're right. You're right.
I'm no,
Right.
seriously, like I'm an unrepentant arrogant prick with a superiority complex. You know that within meeting me fairly quickly. Um, so I would struggle with ever apologizing for other people's bullshit. I will say, however, that life teaches you lessons that you can't necessarily learn without the experience. And yeah, it's a weird thing. I have quite a few no longer single friends here in Kansas City, and that's a range of deep into relationships with girlfriends, all the way up to some folks that have been married since I've been in college. Um,
All right. I think I fixed the echo thing.
okay, good deal. I love my married and otherwise paired up friends to death, but it does get difficult to be around them, and it's really just a. I know that your value now is your relationship, and it might be having cool experiences in your relationship, but your major value is your relationship. And by adding me to the mix, whether that's super upstanding, culturally, expressive, gentleman Matthew Elisha Williams Esquire, or whether that is, the
Breed a
podcasting,
cosplayer.
or whether it is the
I didn't get breed a cosplayer in my relationship.
But it's like in those situations, I know that like even at my best, I'm still the single guy in the situation, behaving in a manner that is for somebody who doesn't have to worry about another person being there. I'm really conscious about the stuff I buy when I'm out with friends who are in a relationship because I know financials are something that couples have to deal with because you guys are now merging those things together. Um, and so it does, to me at least, get difficult to hang with them from time to time. Luckily, most of the times I've been in seriously committed relationships, it was when I was much younger and everybody was broke together. I have been happily enjoying this post law school. Matt Williams gets to be Matt Williams. Moment.
Don't be Matt Lauer. Don't be Matt Lauer.
But you gotta understand, like it was. I really tried it, and I'm sure she probably at some point will be told about this podcast. So I'm not gonna mention her name. But she knows exactly who she is, and we don't have to go through the entire story of it all over again. But the relationship with her was the last time I tried to be serious. I tried to be like you are now, Bobo, in a in a relationship that I thought was going to go somewhere, and that for me is for normal people. And I just realized, like after it was over, after I got out of law school, I was coming up to graduation going, I don't think I ever want to do that again. Like I legitimately went like I was mulling over the idea of like, is this even for me? I've mellowed a bit from even that sharp edge since then, but a lot of it's because of stuff that's talked about in this article that came up on Medium.com, and the article writer is I want to say Emily Lindsay. Yeah, a lot of it is a lot of the stuff that your non-single friends kind of get on you for when you're single. And it's this notion of like you'll be like you should wait to date until you're better by yourself. It's like no, you should find somebody.
Yeah, work on yourself.
What's up? Go for it.
Yeah, I legit found myself saying a lot of these things that she was writing. Like I was talking to my singles, like, "Yo, just work on you. Like, don't focus on trying to be with somebody right now. Just like, oh, well, you'll be fine. Like that person will come along." I'm legit like rethinking how I'm approaching my single friends because, like, honestly, there's I have to put myself back in those single shoes when I talk to them, because like it's hard for them. Like, because I know, like, as handsome and as charming and as charismatic as I am, I don't get. I'm legitimately shocked at that I'm in a relationship right now, because I don't usually get girls like coming up to me and talking to me or whatever, and like I am shocked that someone actually legitimately wants to be with me. I was once called like a sociopath, like, and that was legit truth, and I had to sit back and reevaluate myself. So that's when I come and tell people like, yo, it's gonna take some time, whatever, or like work on you, because I had to work on my goddamn self. And it's hard saying that to them, because I know like that's not helping them find a man, or that's not helping them find someone that they're happy with, and they sit here seeing me like happy, and I don't know how to still kind of deal, like not deal, but like how to address that and still be supportive with them as friends. But it's just, again, goes back to men ain't shit. So if it wasn't for ain't shit men, like everybody would be happy.
Ain't shit. This is not gender specific. Bree.
I know. There's some ain't
I'd love
shit.
to hear your reaction to all this.
Men ain't shit.
I love you. Like if we took a lot of the equations of relationship issues, I'm sorry, it comes down to us, y'all. Like, no matter how I was in a bad relationship, but there were still things I could have done. There were still things I still had to work on, but I saw myself in a bad spot. I knew I needed to get out of that relationship. So honestly, like, it's just, again, comes back to men ain't shit. Like
9 times out of 10, it's men not being shit.
Yeah, 9 times.
But there's always that one time where there's just some girl who can't get her shit together for whatever reason. She thinks that she's entitled to the world, or she's entitled to everything, and the guy's supposed to just deal with it, or he's supposed to just bend to her every will, and everyone's supposed to do everything that she wants to, and this and that. Can't see past her can't see her problems for what they are, her problems, and instead passes them off as like, bad luck, or people just not doing what she says, and this is why things are going wrong. This is the reason why she is how she is, and this and that and everything. And
tell me how you feel.
But there is there's always going to be that one girl who is that one time, that girl that guys are talking about all the time when they're like, oh, excuse the language, but bitches don't know how to act. They get a good guy and then they treat him like crap and this and that, la la la, stuff like that. That's the one girl that they're talking about. All these different memes and all these different tweets and stuff is about that one female. But of course, it goes back to 9 times out of 10, men ain't shit.
Yeah, and when she means that one female, she means that one type. She's not talking about like Brenda from Las Vegas, and like, she's not talking about a specific person.
Did you just call out somebody named Brenda from Las Vegas?
What? Yeah, I was about to be like,
I don't even know Brenda from Las Vegas.
You real stopped and got super serious like Brenda from Las Vegas. I'm sorry she hurt you, bro. I'm so sorry. I have no idea what happened. It's like, okay, so apparently we're in call out mode. Alright, sure. Okay.
Call out ministry right now.
No, I disagree from that for an entirely different reason than you think. Because you're going to think, I'm about to come defend every dude right now. No. There are plenty of entirely immature men amongst the dating pool, much less the currently men.
We've seen the screenshots.
Like, these dudes exist. They're everywhere. But the thing I'm going to actually blame for this is that we, and I mean that as on all of us, especially in America, are not taught what makes relationships work. So everybody comes in with expectations that the other person will be what they've been told is supposed to be how you act in a relationship. We come into these with this notion of, alright, so when you meet a guy, he's going to be like this, and he's going to do these things. If he's not a gentleman, don't ever talk to him again. And you come into these expectations as men because you're being taught, all right, this is a girl. This is how you talk to a girl. This is what you do to get a date with a girl. This is what you do on a date with a girl. And this is what hopefully happens after that date. And if she doesn't do that, then she's a prude. Or if she does do that, she's a whore.
She's a
You
piece
see
of
what I'm
lawn
saying?
equipment. Yeah, she's a piece of lawn equipment.
It's like men are taught the Madonna whore complex when it comes to dating, and women are taught this version of humans that aren't perfect. But what we don't get, and what I think we should get, is all right. Here's how a relationship works, because it takes work to make a relationship work. You can't just be happy together and life work itself out. That's not reality. You have to actually do stuff. Um, you have to endure people's absolutely boring, mundane bullshit, and nobody tells you that when you're 7 years old. We're sold a dream by every TV show,
Yeah.
every movie, every kids movie certainly. Every cousin that talks
All right,
about
I'll put it.
life, we're sold a dream
Yeah.
on both ends that is entirely unrealistic and doesn't fit in society, and then are then expected to become something else entirely. Like, all right, well, you're going to be perfect. No one is perfect. No guy you talk to is going to be perfect, and no girl you talk to, fellas, is going to somehow be in the middle of the perfect good girl and perfect bad girl at the same time. You're fucking crazy. Like, the expectations.
I might be crazy there right now.
No, I'm saying like we have expectations that are not realistic. Look, liking sex doesn't make you a bad girl. Not liking sex doesn't make you a good girl. There is no. These are not mutually exclusive. So I don't blame men ain't shit on that. I blame what we expect from each other on that, because it's both people's problem. But that's
Okay.
that's definitely a piece for another episode. We definitely got to get out of here. So because we have been going quite long, we actually went over time. But I want to give you guys, we're 9 o'clock. I gotta get moving. But I wanted to give you guys, one final piece, whatever your final thoughts are on any of today's subjects before we get out of here. Bob, we'll start with you.
All right, so I'll harp back to the relationship thing. So here's what I'll say: when you find that perfect person, they always tell you find someone who eats who will, if you eat drumsticks like I do, find somebody who eats your flats to your drumsticks. I say no, save that shit for your best friend. If you find somebody in life, make sure they eat drumsticks too, because then you can steal their drumsticks.
There you go. Bree, any final thought on any subject from today?
Well, in terms of the relationship thing, I do agree with what you were saying in terms of it being everyone. I think there has to be like a bit more of kind of like a guideline in terms of how to just have a relationship with people, whether you're male, female, non-binary, whatever you want to be. As a person, you have to learn how to be able to, communicate with other people, deal with their different quirks and everything like that in order to have a good, proper relationship. Other than that, hack the world and rest in peace, Gene Wilder.
Free Gucci.
Hack the planet!
Hack the planet! Hack the planet!
Guys, we're going to be watching Hackers here for Movies Millennials Might Have Missed, coming up here soon. I won't tell you when that's coming.
Good.
Yeah, we're going to be doing that movie here soon. So I may invite both of y'all for that too, because that's always hilarious. But for that, we are now finished. Guys, there's of course the important stuff. Don't forget to check out Ruby Jean's Juicery right here at 40th and Broadway here in Kansas City, Missouri. They've got plenty of small bites of healthy food, tons of juices, smoothies, performance shakes. Their wellness shots are apparently amazing.
Wellness shot.
Yeah. It's like they've got, I don't think you can see it properly. Yeah, they've got the barley grass. They've got the apple cider vinegar. The doctor's visit one has lemon, ginger, honey, grapefruit, cayenne pepper, turmeric, and I don't know. Echinacea. But they've got tons of healthy stuff. Run by my buddy Chris Good, a fellow Ruskin High School alumni. Dear old Ruskin, how we love thee. We will ever be true. To our colors, high above thee, gold and royal blue. Shout out to Miss Henry because
I don't know what just happened.
It's a thing. Everybody from my old high school will remember those words and will be annoyed by them as much as I am. Also, go check out GoFundMe.com/Thor's Warriors to contribute to my brother's GoFundMe campaign. Like I said, just trying to get to that $10,000 goal. Has been going on for quite a while. Like I said, he's still waiting for a transplant, and we could use all the help possible. If you can't give, please share the link on your Facebook, tweet about it. It's GoFundMe.com/Thor's Warriors. Of course, I want to give a shout out to all of our guys over at WeekendLife.com. That's WKNDLIFE.com. You can catch them live streaming straight from the page. You can always get into theirs. That's of course my stream, Teach Guys to the Universe, STL Solo, Revanchist Gaming, and of course our buddy V Gaskin. You know, he out here doing real big for us. He's got some tournaments coming up next year. We'll get you his tournament schedule so you guys can check him out in person. And of course, be sure to support all the shows and podcasts and websites by hopping on to tpublic.com, buy a shirt, buy a coffee mug, buy a notebook, buy a laptop case. Whatever you want to buy, you've got all of our logos available. And coming soon in this little blank spot you guys can see, coming soon, one more logo that I know you guys have been waiting on. I want to give a shout out to the guy who's working on that. That is the wonderful Anthony Wilson Jr. of the Midnight Chat Attack over at doubletoasters.com. Shout out to the MCA. I couldn't be on like I wanted to this week with them, but they always are out to take care of us. As you can see, the stuff is still on sale right now. $14 gets you a Weekend Life shirt at the moment. We've still got the sale going. We extended it through Labor Day just to make sure we took care of y'all. But as you can see, shirts, tank tops, long sleeve shirts, baseball tees, kids shirts, crew necks, full hoodies, phone cases, notebooks, laptop cases, and then you've got the regular coffee mug. Yeah, that's cool. But we can go deeper. We can get better. The travel coffee mug, people. This thing is nearly indestructible.
For coffee on the go.
I'm telling you, this thing is nearly indestructible. Of course, don't forget to go like Breathe the V on Facebook. And, of course, go smash that like button over at Geek Street Radio. Making sure to check out the Geek Street Radio Patreon. It is up now, and that's patreon.com/Geek Street. Coming soon, Patreon for Breathe the V. Make sure to check out her stuff as well. So, the last call for, as the MCA might say, bullshitting good times. I want to thank both my guests, Breathe the V and the Bobo. I thank y'all for coming on. Glad to have you guys back on once again. So, for 314 Publishing, Imperial Dreams Productions, Words Don't Do It Justice, Weekends Don't Do It Justice, and of course, all of our buddies at all of our affiliates. I want to thank my producer and co-host who are getting a break from the screwed up audio issues that I caused apparently with our new software. I'll tell you why that had to happen, but I'm still happy we did this makeup episode. This has been your makeup episode of The Wrath of Ruthless. I am the Ruthless Wonder, not a Ruthless Wonder. And if you're listening, we are the revolution. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.